The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Hello, and welcome to the second invitation of the Le Mans 2.4 hours of the FSGP. Today, we are on the French circuit of Le Mans, right now in practice, and this is for the Triple Crown. We had a few winners in Monaco, and we had a few winners in Indianapolis, and now is a chance for one of our drivers to gain the third Triple Crown. This driver being Guus van Doremalen. So, let's hop on track. As we're now on track, practice is gonna end very soon. And everyone on track right now is doing the fastest laps right now and aiming to aim strong. In the bottom right, you're seeing a mini-map, just for you guys to see just how many drivers we have on track. And if incidents happen, there's always, you will see that with damage indicators. Doremalen right now, fastest on track. This is Guus van Doremalen, the son of Huub van Doremalen, who will also be driving today. In the pit lane right now, in 11th. And he is aiming to maybe match his son. 2 minutes, 0.456 tenths right now, fastest lap. I have talked to some of the drivers and they've said with the slower car, the winged student car, slower than the fan car, is about 14 seconds slower, can go to about a 2 minute 14. Variable weather is activated, so we might see some rain. At the beginning of the practice session there was rain. We sadly couldn't get it on the stream, but it's gonna be. As we're now on track, looking at this car raw, we have two different irritations of the cars. We have the 01 with no rear ring, running with fans in the rear. You see the three here in the back, three fans making about 90% of the downforce of this car. Obviously in the front there's a huge wing generating the front downforce, but on the rear mostly running on ground effect, which you might probably heard from modern F1 cars. These are the faster irritations of the cars. There is the second one with the wings, about 14 seconds slower. As Guus van Doremalen in the final minute of practice goes faster, I'm seeing a few signs of rain again. I'm gonna say it now, variable weather is activated. These cars have dry and wet tires. Just depends when it's good to switch, as it starts raining. 1 minute 59 right now for Guus van Doremalen. Fastest on track. Correa with the winged car, the 02 version. 19.5 seconds slower than Doremalen. We have some custom liveries on here. Doremalen running a PlayStation inspired car. As the stream should be live here. Let me just double check to see if it's on.
rating, then it's lower than that.
Kane, on what account am I streaming on right now?
You should be streaming on FSGP. Are you not?
It's not on there.
Oh, I'm gonna murder somebody. I can't help you.
Okay,
hold on.
I really hope I'm not on let me go AIL.
Wide entry.
This is why we should be using Twitch. I work for Twitch. I don't work for YouTube.
You work for Twitch?
Yes, I work for Twitch.
Ah.
He made Twitch, bro. He's a billionaire.
Bro works for Twitch.
Alright, I'm probably going to have to restart this session if I'm going to go help Foxy, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware.
The practice session?
Do you want the practice session to get restarted, or do you want qualifying to get restarted?
Can we just skip over to quali once you're done? Once you're done, just go to quali.
Sure, I can do that.
Grip is gone now.
Yeah, there's no grip at this point.
No grip.
It's gone now.
No, there's no grip whatsoever.
Okay, so we're going to quali when Thomas is ready with helping Foxy.
I'm streaming somewhere.
This rain's gonna throw in some wrenches in strategy, I think.
Okay, it's restarted on practice. I will be right back to help Foxy.
Where am I
I'm
streaming
gonna-
to?
Okay.
Are we just gonna skip practice after you get back then?
I sure
Let me
hope so.
So I must keep the stream open.
He's gone now. He's helping Foxy to get the stream alive.
Okay, we're in the wrong spot, but whatever. Hold on.
What channel am I streaming to?
Are you streaming to my channel? That'd be really funny.
What channel? What's the channel? That would have been. That would be hilarious even.
My YouTube channel's Kane the Reaper, but I don't see anything live, so.
I'm streaming somewhere. What am I streaming to? It doesn't even show me where I'm streaming to. Does it show somewhere?
Hold on, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm streaming. Oh god.
I actually see you live on FSGP.
Wait, so FSGP is live, but it's not showing, is what you're saying?
Hold on, let me confirm. Let me confirm.
Weird thing I'm streaming on Doremalen's channel.
Oh, god fucking damn it. I hate this so much. When I go to YouTube Studio, it claims that you're currently live. So hold on, let me maybe I have to push a button.
Yeah, there's no
to
live
tell it
that you turned off the live section on that YouTube. You disabled it. There's no live.
Well, I didn't touch anything, so someone else must have touched it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
Once you turn it on, it's gonna be there. So let me restart.
Where is that setting?
Good question.
Fuck, I hate YouTube.
Wanna switch to Twitch?
Okay, it should be public now.
Maybe. Oh yeah, yep. Nope. Maybe.
Hold on, let me check.
Let me restart the stream.
No, don't do that.
Okay, I won't. Calm down.
Okay, I see it. So
Yeah, you see it.
it should be good. Hold on.
If you sent me the
Okay,
link,
there's the stream. do me a favor and just switch it over to the actual. Okay, there's the stream, the thing, so I can make sure.
Now.
Okay, that's fine.
I said it, we're gonna restart it. So, quick restart. Whoopsie. Happens.
I'm gonna push you into the commentator channel.
Okay. No, oops.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings and rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Hello and welcome to the second iteration of the Le Mans FSGP. 2.4 hours of Le Mans on the French circuit. Very long, but also very short compared to the actual track. This is the karting. This is a more compact one, more adapted for karts, or these Formula Students cars we see on the pictures. And we have one driver here who might who's aiming for the Triple Crown. It's obviously our FSGP champion, Guus van Doremalen. He has won the Indy 50 and the Monaco Grand Prix. He's aiming to get his Triple Crown today here. The practice session is now open. Drivers are already on the track. So let's switch over to the action. So we're now looking at a few drivers on the track. Let's listen to these cars roar. It's incredible. They are here, they are screaming. And they are working incredibly hard. We have two cars, two classes driving today. We have the 01 version with no rear wing running on ground effect, as we see in the back. We switched now to qualifying. Practice was before. We had some streaming issues, so we had to we couldn't sadly show it. With the ground effect cars, we have fans working in the rear. As again, no audio, funny enough. Here we go, with ground effect working for the rear. At the front we still have a huge wing working for that front downforce. And we have the second car that is with a huge rear wing, but it's in 14 to 19 seconds slower as the 01 version. This is the 02, as it's still running on a little bit of ground effect, but more aerodynamical downforce. We have variable weather, so we might see later on rain. As just before, there was a little bit of a drop of rain on the screen, so we might see the cars have going for more strategies. In the bottom right, you will see a mini map with information on the racetrack and crash history. So that's gonna help you, the viewers, look what is happening on the track, not on screen. So we have the best of both worlds. You also will see the temperatures and the weather shown in the bottom right as well. Milanov right now with 2:1:66 is right now at the top of the leaderboard here in qualifying. Practice, I apologize, practice 8 minutes. Doremalen before did a 1:59, so we might see these two still duking it out here in the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. These two are fighting intensely hard right now in the FSGP Championship, and with this one-off race here, it's all or nothing for the Triple Crown. Jason Milanov also, I believe, is aiming for that Triple Crown. So it's still open for the both of them. But also, it's good to say that you've won the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. We should have a grid of 25 drivers at the start of the race. So more drivers will join us later on, as now the action will begin and be which of the drivers will get the first place in their class respectfully, but also who can have the best strategic minds, but also consistency for the entirety of the 2.4 hours. About 9 to 10 pit stops are expected over the course of the race, but obviously with weather change there might be some more strategy calls in place. More pits can more stops can happen, as that was I believe Brendan Pierce going past. Oh, that's that was a car going past the O2 car, and that you saw before. That's just how fast these two cars are. How the difference between these two cars are. They don't seem too different body-wise, with if you get rid of the wing, but power-wise, they just come on two different worlds. You just see between the the O2 car and the O1 car and the O2 car, from 8 to 20 second gap. That's the gap expected between these two. So there is gonna be some issues, and we might see some lapping later on, and that's gonna be a big strategy players. Ooh, that's Legler against, I believe that is who is Salm? That should be Salm, yeah. Salm and Legler duking it out already on track, showing us what the action might look like between the two cars. Hopping on board with him. Oh, that's Legler having a bit of oversteer and going off the track out of Arnage. Second corner after Indianapolis. I might confuse the two later on. I might call Arnage also Indianapolis. Probably will call them the Indianapolis complex. It's wrong, I apologize, but just how I'm used to saying it. It's timing wise. Jason Milanov is going for a faster lap here again. Ui, oversteer out of the Mulsanne chicane happen. We're going now up the hill, up the road towards Indianapolis here. That's the Mulsanne happen is probably the most difficult corner in these cars. As we've seen already, these cars have a lot of torque, so that rear end will be very loose. And with more tire wear plaguing the car later on, we might even see some incidents happening later on. So this is gonna be a race worth looking out for. Practice is gonna end in 4 minutes, and Milanov right now still going strong on his lap. Purple both sectors now across the line. And there's a 1:58.5. That's the fastest lap so far of the day. And that puts him up there by about 1.5 seconds to Doremalen. And Doremalen is not managing to attack back. Yellow sector 1, green sector 2, purple sector 3. So sector 3 is where Doremalen is faster than Milanov. Sector 1 is where he lost the most time. About a 10th in sector 1 to Milanov's lap right now. And these two are fighting incredibly hard already in practice, going for hot laps. And we might see just later on what the gap between these drivers are. Just who is going to be more consistent. Milanov is already managing to put the lap times in. I don't understand why the towers are updating. That's not the correct time. Let me see if I can... It's not updating. I apologize for that. It should be a 1:58.5. In P2 it's Doremalen with a 1:58.6. Oh, there we go. Updated now. Brendan Pierce with a 2:02.2. So that's a gap already from P2 to P3. Maybe we'll see some improvement later on, but not much time left until qualifying when it really matters. Brendan Pierce, we know he can be a podium contender in the championship, and now today he might be a podium contender again. Thomas Kine in 4th, about 2 seconds behind Pierce, with a lap time of 2:04.2. So that's about 2 seconds. So that's Deda has done a mistake. He's in the pit lane now. Blombergen also mistake. There's a lot of happening. Blombergen going now down the straight. There he's flying, and now towards the first chicane. Towards... Oh god, I'm gonna butcher all of these names. French names. They have a bit of a different pronunciation. But the first chicane is the Large chicane. And the second one right now is the La Florendière chicane. Might have butchered those two. But the rest is a bit more easier. But the high points on this track, where we look out for, is Mosain hairpin, the corner where Blombergen just went wide and off the track. The Porsche curves are also going to be a complex of corners that we should watch out for. And the fourth chicane, the final chicanes actually, it's a double chicane, so those are the two final corners four final corners that we also should look out for. And big race coming up, and this is going to be interesting to see. 7 seconds left in the session until qualifying, and the times are starting to gain their stone. They are starting to be set in stone, as we now see Doremalen and Milanov being about barely right there on pace. Doremelen's first sector is yellow, so he has to fly now in the second and third to maybe improve. But 13 drivers right now on track with two safety. We have his father Doremalen will also be driving. Hoop van Doremalen will also be driving. And I'm the cameraman, so I will not be driving. Hopefully we'll see more drivers joining us later on. As now, these right now are the times we maybe be looking out for qualifying. Unless there will be a turn of surprise. Maybe someone not managing to put a lap together in practice, maybe managing to put one together in qualifying. Some are driving custom liveries. The drivers who are driving custom liveries are Thomas Kine. He is driving a custom livery, a PlayStation. I apologize. I said Doremalen was driving the PlayStation. No, it's Kane is driving the custom Porsche PlayStation livery with his number 94. Looking at the livery here, full black, PlayStation logo, Sony everywhere, with the buttons in the back. Those are the 4 buttons: the X, the triangle, circle, and square. And this is a car that we hopefully look out for. It's really nice here, beautiful style. I like the coloring and the looks of this car. We have Doremalen driving with the Guus Le Mans car, made specifically for this race, a number 4, 2.4 hours of Le Mans. His number is the number 4, as I said it. Is the more looks of his car with his yellow helmet, blue, white, blue stripes, and this is meant for this special race. And these are the cars that we should be looking out for. Then we have Frank Dapper, also driving a custom livery, if I can find him. There he is. He's driving a Doodle car is his name of the livery. Number 26, looking like a few doodles on the car. Best example is class boring. You just pull out your notebook and you start doodling, and beautiful look. It reminds me of the Red Bull test livery, one of my favorite test liveries out there. And it's really nice. We also have a few drawings on there. As you can see on the rear wing, there's a cup located at the top right. Let's see if we can notice other drawings maybe in there. I believe I see a flower near the tire. I'm not sure though. Obviously the 26 also drawn on there. There's a face there, right in the middle of the screen. Beautiful. A little sun. Yeah, there's a few doodles. Nice car. Looking out for this one as well. We have the 404 car of David Wilson, which I believe the context behind this one is also because of the error 404. Well, this is also his racing number, so more simplistic art style. Not found. Obviously, the error 404 meaning website not found or domain not found. But they have a special sentence in the rear wing. To finish first, you must first finish. I forgot who said that. It's being said by his famous driver. Who exactly I now forgot. But obviously that sentence is true. To finish first, you first have to finish. Oh, it makes no sense otherwise. But the deeper sentence context in that sentence is consistency is what also wins races. If you don't have the consistency, there is no chance for you to get that good position. Then we have Ashley with a special livery. Ashley Vandersheim, the Fristy livery. More of a pink, more chocolate drink inspired livery from the Netherlands. We have a few sponsors on here. Lipton, Chocomel are the bigger ones that you can see. Fristy obviously the biggest one, name of the livery as well. 41 for Ashley Vandersheim. And we're gonna see as now we're jumping onto the race immediately. One more livery I'm gonna show you before I prepare for this race, and it's Menno Blombergen with the same livery, the number 30. So they are starting next to each other, 30 and 41 teammates here on the track. Going now on track as we now look. It's going to be 2.4 hours of the race. 57 seconds remaining until the start of the race. And it's going to be a one to look out for. Let's see if I can get a better angle here. There we go. I believe those are not the correct positions. And so this is Milanov on pole, I believe it is. So this is correct. So we are seeing the 4 cars of the 01 versus the 02 cars in the back are starting from Laderas, pole on that first car. There is going to be a timer back here. I cannot return to the pits yet. There will be a timer here. Oh, there's no audio again. Nice to hear that. The engines are roaring. And it's go, go, go! Pedal to the metal. That's a good start from Doremalen. Going out down the inside of Milanov into turn 1. And now turn 2. And Doremalen is already in the lead. And this is incredible stuff from that start. He has not made the mistake. He's timed it perfectly. And Doremalen is now leading down to the straight until the first hairpin. Chicane, Milanov on the slipstream down the outside, side by side now, going into the large chicane, first time round here. Doremalen brave on the brakes, remains in first, goes a bit wide. Milanov remains in second. Pierce now catching as well in the back. There's also some overtakes. Correa lost the position to Dapper. Laderas and Wilson are also fighting for P8. 2 attempts between them. Milanov and Doremalen are fighting now, side by side again into the second chicane. Now towards the Mulsanne King here. And now to the Mulsanne chicane, they're side by side. To the Mulsanne hairpin. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? Will Pierce join in as well? Milanov with the better run goes first into the corner and manages to overtake. And now it's a freeway fight going towards Indianapolis. These 3 are tailgating each other really closely. And Doremalen wants to look for on the outside. There's been a crash. These 3 have touched each other. And Doremalen goes down the inside. Very brave. And he manages to not lose that car. And now out of Andrage. Difficult corner, 90 degrees to the right. And now towards the Porsche curves. These 3 have not made any mistakes yet this lap. And they are fighting, switching positions, trading each other. Pushing each other to the limits. In the back there's also Dapper and Wilson fighting. Dapper overtaking Wilson back. And Milanov right on the back. Pierce is just further behind. Same gaps between the 2. Between the 3 there's no difference. Pierce is closer to Milanov than Milanov to Doremalen. And they are fighting really hard here. Pierce is losing out, but Milanov still half a second to Doremalen. Can he stay there? Remain in that slipstream. The tank is gonna empty out before the tires are gonna lose. So when it's ready, she said, Milanov pulls out to the outside, side by side, towards the first chicane. Who's brave on the brakes? Last time was Doremalen, but Doremalen risks it really hardly and gives out the position, but not quite. Tries to switch back out of the hairpin. A chicane, and now Mulsanne straight between the 2 chicanes. Towards the second chicane we go now, still side by side. Doremalen on the inside. Milanov gives up the position. It's not as brave as Doremalen on the brakes. The Mulsanne King, and now towards the Mulsanne hairpin. Side by side between these 2. They are pushing it to really limit. Side by side, and Milanov with the better line takes the position. And Brendan Pierce has the upper hand now. With the 2 fighting, they are losing this exit speed. And Brendan Pierce might have a chance. Side by side again between the 2. Going towards Indianapolis. Who's going to be braver? Doremalen again. Pierce wanted to have a look, but didn't quite manage. Not towards the right-hander. No one makes a move here. Towards the Porsche curves. Difficult set of corners. Mostly flat with these cars. Just a little bit of lift. Doremalen is lifting a little more than Milanov. Milanov has a great run there. And now towards the difficult fourth chicane. It's a double chicane. Who managed to get the better run here? Big sausage curves. One bad touch and you spin it round. And both manages to get it clean. Pierce as well, only 6 tenths behind in the back. Still fights as well. Simon catching 2 Ladera, 6 tenths between them. And this is incredible stuff Milanov and Doremalen. I'm not giving out. Then Milanov goes wide, cuts the corner, gets a warning. Needs to only have a limited amount of those before a penalty happens. And now Doremalen is starting to push harder than Milanov can remain. And now towards the first chicane, Doremalen goes wide. Big mistake. Milanov gets a good run into the slipstream now. Going towards the second chicane. Down the Mulsanne straight. These two are really close together again. Is he going to have a look down the inside, Milanov? Down, not quite, but makes himself visible in the mirrors. Now towards the Mulsanne kink. Basically, not a corner. Another Mulsanne happen. We saw Milanov here always getting the better a corner. Side by side and down the inside. Milanov does a photocopy of what he's done the past 2 laps. David Wilson and Simon have a big Blomberg have a big crash in the back. Spin it out before the Tête Rouge. But there's also in the front contact between Milanov and Doremalen. In the back, Brendan Pierce catches as well. Again, these two are pushing each other. A little bit of damage to the front 2 drivers. Pierce now has the upper hand with his non-damaged car. Any damage to these cars will impact the performance. Obviously, mostly ground effect on these cars, so the aerodynamics isn't really the biggest thing you should worry about, but any damage can still impact the front of the car. And it looks like Doremalen has run off better out of that incident than Milanov. Fastest lap for Doremalen, 1:58.2. Matches his qualifying time. But Pierce is now on the look. Full P2 to Milanov. Half a second between the 2 drivers. And it's just been 10 minutes from the race start. And it's been an active 10 minutes. No, the top 3 have been duking it out. But full P1 in the 02 class. Looks like Leclerc is still a bit further ahead, but Correa is slightly catching. 1.1 seconds. It was 1.3 before. So we might see him get slowly catching, getting that slipstream. Now 1.0 between the 2. And wow. So now comes the stage. Are the drivers going to start worrying about the tires? Are going to keep pushing? Correa loses 2 tenths through the 4th chicane. Milanov losing to Doremalen. He's not managing to catch that time back. Brendan Pierce is still under that second. But it loses out and goes wide. Out of the Mulsanne happen. Onto the grass, but manages to keep it facing the right way and loses 2 seconds. It loses a second from that. 1.5 now. Correa back in the 1.0 gap. Now under the second. Correa is aiming to get his first lead in this group here. Correa might get his win in his class. And good corner from Leclerc, but Correa manages to stay just behind and manages to stay in that second gap down the Mulsanne straight. The cars are getting closer together. And now through the second chicane, it's 1 second between the 2 out of the braking points. And they are fighting to get that first win of the class. Doremalen 1:57.4, 1 second again, faster than his last lap. Correa stays on the 1 second gap. And it's interesting to see towards now Indianapolis. 4 tenths between the 2. Now towards Indianapolis 3 tenths. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? He tries to run the outside Correa. Doesn't quite manage. 3 tenths now through the second corner. To the right hand, and Leclerc loses the rear a little. Manages to gets a bad run out now the corner. And towards the Porsche curves. Looking now. Who gets the better corners here? Correa has a little bit of downforce it looks like. But understeers a little out of the first part. Out of the new Maison Blanche. And now towards the 4th chicane. First left, then right, then left, and then again right. Who gets it first? Whoa, it looks like Leia gets a better run through there. Dan, you know I'm live on... Wait, hold on. You know I'm live... Huh? So a bit of issues here, and now we're back towards the battle here. For fourth, there's been a problem. I believe we lost the driver. No, this is for fifth. I'm sorry, this is for fifth here still. My mistake. The timings have been shown wrong. 7 times between the two drivers, fighting it hard here. They have been now for the last lap, towards last lap on the 4th chicane. Lost a little bit of time. The sun is starting to drop. It's starting to go down. The track luckily is lit. These cars obviously don't have any headlights. So these two cars are still fighting. Same pace towards from the two. From Correa, last lap 2:17.3. Last lap from Legler was a 2:17.8. Now towards the line. See what happens now. Correa catch the second through the 4th chicane. Legler does 2:16.3. Antonio Correa 2:16.3. Identical lap times. Final last lap. They are both same pace. Let's see who manages to keep the tires in better shape. Legler has the advantage to not have the dirty air and the heat from the car hitting it. Doremalen, fastest lap, 1:56.9. Lapping already. That's, I believe, Sam that was lapped. That's Brendan Pace has overtaken Milanov. I have missed that out. I've had some issues. Brendan Pace has overtaken Milanov for P2, and that is a big turn of events. Milanov wanting to have it. Oh no! Whoa! Big issues out of the SS chicane and hitting the wall at about 100 kilometers an hour. Full front damage. That's not what you want to see. And now we're gonna have to see how the car handles. On board now through the first chicane. Still looks like he has enough downforce on the car, but big incident. Was that a mistake? Was his pedals not working? What has happened? And that means the battle for second is now over for now. Milanov has to catch 9 seconds if you want to catch to Brendan Pace. Correa and Legler are still fighting. Dapper's in the pit lane. Frank Dapper. I believe he teleported to there. Gotta see when he comes out, but Correa and Legler looking at the sector times. Identical. Legler is just a bit slower in the second sector. Lost out 2 tenths. First sector was identical to from the two. And they are just fighting. They are catching. Legler sees Correa in his rearview mirror. Just slightly getting bigger. Look at the lap time now. Who had the better lap this lap? So across the line they go. 2:16.6 from Legler and 2:16.5 from Correa. So it was just 1/10 faster from Correa that lap. In the back, that's, I believe, Doremalen. No, wait, that's Milanov catching them. So Milanov has catched 2 the drive to the lapped cars now. First time lapping, and oh, that's Laderas. Having to take a bit of an alternative line through there. And that made Salm just catch a little bit more for there. Correa and Legler, 8 tenths difference between the two. Losing out a 10th Correa in the first sector. Nearly 20 minutes into the race. And Correa just looking in that slipstream, hanging tightly. Wanting to stay as comfortable as possible. Doesn't want to push. Doesn't want to risk. We've seen problems. Kain spins it out off the Tetra Rouge. The first hairpin to enter the straight. Has had a mistake there. Lost time. And now Brendan Pierce losing about a second a lap. Oh, through the Mursane hairpin. Losing the rear a little. Doremalen is comfortably leading now. 12-second gap. Doremalen absolutely dominating the grid here. Kain about 30 seconds to Milanov. Milanov catching from Pierce's mistake. 6 seconds now. 6.3. Going through Indianapolis. And you just see how much a mistake can cost. Now going towards the Porsche curve. Right, left. Now New Mason Blanche. Oi, that's... I completely butchered that name. And now through the fourth chicane. Seeing as how Milanov takes it. Taking a lot of curb. Risking it a lot. Another second catch there. So another kind of pit lane. That's Legler and Correa. So there's a first pit lane battle. Let's look in the back. In the back there. That's Correa starting. That's now Legler starting. Who had the better pit stop? It looks like they're identical. Maybe Legler had a little bit of a better pit stop there. And Correa is now more than a second behind. And that cost him 3 tenths. Big time loss to knowing that he's not catching enough. But now out of the pit lane catch 2 tenths again. These two are following each other now for the past 20 minutes. In the pit lane there's another battle. Salm versus Wilson. Who gets out first? It's Salm who goes out first. Wilson not yet. I think that is him out there now going. That is him. He goes out now in the 404 car. And he's out now into the first hairpin. In the first chicane. The Dunlop in the S chicane. Doremalen leading 14.7 seconds to Pierce. Milanov 4.1 second to Pierce. Catching. He's catching another second. Last lap from Brendan Pierce was a 2:00. 20.02. While Jason Milanov did a 1:57.9. That was with Pierce's mistake. Out of the Mulsanne chicane. We're gonna complete the lap soon now. Pierce on the Porsche curve here. Milanov approaching the Porsche curves now. 3.9 seconds. Entering the lap. Guus van Doremalen 1:56.5. Flying here. Not losing out any pace. That's compared to now Brendan Pierce's time. Pierce goes across the line. Does a 1:57.9. That's 1.4 seconds off Doremalen. While Jason Milanov 1:56.5. 2 tenths off Doremalen. Lights are on now, on track with approaching nighttime. Milanov 2.8 seconds. Another second catch to Brendan Pierce. Last lap 1.4 seconds catch. Correa 0.7 seconds to Legler as well. They are all still in limbo here, staying in that little window. And don't know if it's on purpose staying there or maybe just the pace, the skill difference is just not there. They are on par, driving wise and skill wise. They are on the same tires, the soft tires, there's 2 compounds, softs and wets. We might see rain coming in later on this race. There's about a 10% chance of rain said. So we're gonna see who manages to get maybe a better strategy call. The sun is going down in the back. You see orange, the orange sunset. Beautiful to look at. But what is better to look at is just the way these two are fighting. And I've missed it. Brendan Pierce has made a mistake while looking at Correa and Legler. Brendan Pierce made a mistake and Milanov is back up to P2. With, oh, another mistake from Brendan Pierce. Sliding out of Arnage corner onto the exit, hitting the wall. They are pushing it to the absolute limit. Doremalen in the pit lane. What's Milanov going to do? Is he going to respond? And he does. He's flying into the pit lane now. Let's see how much time he gains. Doremalen starts off now again. Going out now. He's back on track. And Brendan Pierce stays out. He's not. He's going into the pit lane. So they have all the same strategy here. Milanov now out too. There he is. Going out. And now back onto the track he is. 19 seconds gap to Doremalen. Who will make mistakes? Mistakes have already happened in the 20 minutes they've been running. And it's just gonna be even more frequent maybe later. And this is just what we like to see. The drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Sometimes even over it. And this just shows that car and driver sometimes have two different limits. To the point where the car just cannot keep up with the driver, or the other way around, the car is just too much for the driver and also mistakes can happen. As with Milanov's mistake out of Sector 1, flying into the wall. Hasn't repaired his damage though. While that's happening, Correa is the closest he's ever been. Going down the, I believe they're now down the straight. First chicane. Wanted to go for a look around the outside. Makes Legler go for a defensive line. Makes him lose a little bit more speed. And now through the Mulsanne straight out towards the second chicane. These two are now close as ever been. Correa is going to look for the lead of the O2 class. Round the outside, side by side. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? It looks like Legler. Braver and late on the brakes, but goes a bit wide. Loses a little bit of rear. Has to go more passive on the accelerator, which gives Correa a great run towards the Mulsanne happen. Side by side. First left-hander and now for the braking point. Correa aims for the switchback. Whoa, Legler goes very defensive on the exit. And they're again side by side towards Indianapolis. Oh, getting squeezed onto the curb. They are still side by side. A bit further ahead is Correa. And now towards Indianapolis. The inside line is just better. But Correa is really brave on the brakes and makes it. Makes the overtake stick. And is the new leader of the O2 class. Great overtake. Is Legler gonna respond to that overtake? We know they're the same on pace. So these two will not leave each other. It's mostly who has the slipstream. And now that Legler's in the back, has every advantage that he wants. Correa now has to multitask more. Look in the mirrors. Bad forward chicane from Correa. And Legler now goes for the overtake. Side by side. Inside line for Legler. The pink car. Towards turn 1. The chicane now. Brave on the brakes is Legler, but has to take more curb. Correa goes wide and Legler's back in front. And they switched positions. They've traded it now. In the back. I believe that's Kane catching to them. So they have to make way soon. Unless Kane catches them on a part where there's no issue. Kane now with the slipstream has no issues. Goes to the outside line on both cars. Correa trying to get the advantage. Goes for the slipstream. And now towards his first chicane. Legler's ahead. 5/10. Goes a little wider than Correa. Gets a bad run. Really bad run. Correa goes defensive. Goes for the right hand side. And now for the left hand side. That's the inside line for the chicane. Correa might have to go for the outside. Has to go for the outside line. And now with Legler's compromised line. Takes a bad exit. And Correa again Good run out of the second chicane towards Mulsanne happen. Are they going to be side by side again? Photocopy of what they did last lap. They are. Who's going to be brave on the brake this time? Correa again is going for the switchback move. And he does it again. This time Leclerc got a little bit of a better run. So Correa's not as far ahead. And he gets squeezed onto the curb again. Towards Indianapolis. Side by side. And now the braking point is going to approach. Who's going to be braver? Correa was braver last time, but Leclerc learned his lesson. Both are same on the brakes. Now for the right hander, and Correa overshoots the corner. Leclerc goes for the switchback and gets his position back. Correa this time in the back towards the final sector. Now the Porsche curve has to follow through here. This is difficult to go side by side. And these two are fighting. In the back there's a different battle going on, but these two are more closer, so I'm going to stay on here. Look for the mini-map. Towards the Mulsanne chicane is the second battle. There's been an incident. Kine has made a mistake. But I won't switch. These two are too close together. Now, main straight. Side by side. Correa goes for the inside line. Now it's a switch. Leclerc was last time. Correa now. Start into the inside. And now the outside for the chicane. Means that he's going to take more curb. But no, he goes back and he spins it. He spun it round. He was too aggressive on the accelerator. And loses the opportunity to get the lead of the 02 class. Leclerc now runs away. 5.8 seconds lost for that overtake. Switching now to the P8 battle. P4 in class. These two are now about a second apart from each other. And Kane losing out as well. 2 pairs. A minute now gap. And Wilson gets a way better Ford chicane run. And he's very close. The closest he's ever been. 3/10 towards turn 1. And turn 2 goes for the round outside for the chicane. Takes more curb sound for turn 1. Goes wide. Has to let the lap traffic through. I think that's Pace. Going past that, it's Pace. Going back, Wilson and Sam are fighting. Frank Blomberger has done a mistake. Not a mistake. Dapper's going to the pit lane and Blomberger overtakes. Wilson and Sam fighting. This time Wilson got past. Well, letting Pierce pass. But now this time Sam wants to get the position back. Goes for the inside for the first chicane. Takes a lot of curb but needs to be careful. Both lines has been compromised. Wilson has had a bad turn for the inside there. And went a little wide, but Sam has got the slipstream advantage. Looks again for the inside, for the second chicane, down the Mulsanne straight. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? These two are basically on par with the pace, but Sam was way brave on the brakes and goes for the inside line and gets the overtake done. Now the Mulsanne King towards the Mulsanne chicane. A chicane happen. Wilson, inside line, goes aggressive. Does not want to lose time behind. Very brave. And contact. Big crash. Big crash from the two. And Wilson facing the wrong way. Salm gets the position from that incident. That looked like a racing incident between the two. But must be investigated later on by the stewards. Doremalen will look at that later on. Who won Doremalen? Not Guus. So now that has happened, we have a different car catching two Leclerc. No, that's Correa catching two Leclerc. I believe Leclerc has had a little bit of a mistake there in the final laps while looking at the battle for P8 and lost about a second to Correa. Correa has gone to the 4.2 second gap. Now that Correa has free air, let's see his raw pace. Let's look at the times. Correa's last lap was 2:21.4. That Jacobs Leclerc 2:17. We will see this lap what happened, as I believe Leclerc has had a little bit of a mistake. And interesting to see. Everyone is now a bit more spread out. Look at the mini-map on the bottom right. The closest car on tracks are Leclerc and Correa with a 4.3 second gap. Wilson is closer. Let's see if he catches. There was a big catch. A huge catch. With that incident, he was about 6 seconds back. Now he's 2.9. Has Salm made a mistake? Looking at the sector times, Salm did a 19.8, while Wilson also did a 19.8. Looks like it happened in the last lap. So interesting to see there that these two are still in the contention for the P8 battle. Salm needs to pick up his thoughts, as another mistake might cost him that P8 position. Correa, on the other hand, is slightly catching to Legler. Looking at sector times, Correa had a 19.3 in first sector, 19.2 for Jacob Legler. Second sector, 58.1 for Legler, 57.7 for Correa. Now that lap was 2.16.0 for Jacob Legler, 2.15.4 for Correa. So it was a 6/10 catch. Jason Milanov, fastest on track, fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 55.6. Absolutely flying in these night times. It doesn't matter if the track got darker. He is still up there with the pace. Salm made a mistake. Salm is round and Wilson goes past. And that is a big mistake, costing him that P8, as I said before. A mistake can cost you everything. You don't want to be the driver who makes the mistake, because then happens that the gap increases to the point where maybe catching is not an opportunity anymore. Talking about catching, Correa is still flying. Look at the sector times. Correa 19.5, Legler 20.1. So that is what a 6/10 catch. Ashley again, mistake, was in the pit lane, probably hit the outside wall. Blombergen as well, going back again. Second pit stop. No, wait, it was Frank Dapper who was in pit lane. So we gotta look out. Oh, I'm confused the two. Frank Dapper now goes across the final chicanes. Where does Blombergen come out? I think I hear a car coming out. Frank Dapper now across the line. There he is in the back with the wing. There, cross. Blombergen out now. Oh, side by side, and Dapper gets a position, but he's a lap down. He is a lap down. He has unlapped himself now. So he is back in the same lap as his contenders and his rivals. Correa 1 second behind Legler, both again in the pit lane, jumping at the same time. Pit lane battle. Who's gonna be faster? Who's gonna have the better exit and better run? This is our pit stop battle. Obviously, this being a simulator, the times will not change. But now, depending on who had the better pit entry, might get the better time of the pit stop here. So now that is Legler started. Legler's out. And Correa's out. Look at the time, so it's gonna drop now as it synchronizes again. It should be about 1.5 seconds between each other. 1.8. Now going for the first happen-ish. It's more sharper than the real life track, but now going for the first straight here towards the first chicane. Correa is a bit faster than Legler on raw pace. But Legler is a machine in defending. He has managed to defend himself from Correa so much that Correa even got pushed to a mistake. On raw pace, Correa wins on paper. But on race pace, they are basically the same together. A different pit stop battle happening as well between Laderas and Wilson. But there's been a big gap between the two. One is out now. If there they are, that's Laderas out. Wilson right behind. That's about a 3-second gap here. It's even closer, 1.6 seconds. Oh, jumping the chicane. We might have a battle for 7th here. I believe Laderas has made a mistake then. He was comfortably ahead by about 10 to 20 seconds. Has gone down to 1.2. What has happened there? I have to look out for that later, as there's a smoke coming. I believe that's a mistake from Legler going onto the grass. The nighttime is not really helping the drivers here. Correa, 1.4 seconds. Wilson, 0.8 tenths behind Laderas. And this might be for third place in the O2 cloud. This is for the podium position. Wilson was fighting for 4th and now he's fighting for 3rd. Bad line from Laderas. Wilson catches again. Another 4 tenths. Towards the Mulsanne happen. Who's gonna be brave on the brakes? Who will gain time? Who will lose time? This is what matters most. Because then there's a long run. Laderas takes a little less speed through there. Wilson carries a lot more speed. And is gaining. About 4 tenths. Now 5 tenths. Looks like the slipstream is not quite working out for him. In the back, that's Milanov now overtaking the 2. In the back, there's also Correa now fighting. Laderas and Wilson had an incident. Laderas has spun round. Wilson has come out far better. There's been an incident with that was Doremalen. That was Doremalen, ladies and gentlemen. Doremalen had made a mistake with the back markers. Milanov will now have a great opportunity to catch. And that also in the front. Slaughter happening on track. I'm sorry if I miss out on a few things. Correa under a second to Legler, back for the lead for the O2 class. And these two are absolutely pushing the limits of the car. We're about half an hour in. Out of the Mulsanne happen. Both are quite there on pace. Legler has lost a 10th to Correa. Towards Indianapolis they go. And Correa is a bit faster through this section. But now with the dirtier he has to fight. Let's see how good he can stay behind. Blombergen, mistake, hits the wall. Correa, 4 tenths now out of the Indianapolis complex. Now through the Porsche curve. 3 tenths, being faster through here. It looks like he's way more aggressive. Better line. Legler goes wide and now through the Ford chicane. Who gets a better entry here? And there's contact between the two. And oh, that contact has unsettled the Legler car. And Legler has spun it round. I believe it was netcode. It didn't quite look intentional to me. Correa slowing down. I believe he slowed down from that incident. He slowed down. He's slowing down for Legler. He is apologizing. As now we see here the position changes between the drivers. Doremalen gains a position to Milanov. Doremalen lapping his own class now. That's Kane getting lapped by Doremalen. And in the midfield, in the O2 class, nothing changed. Correa was started on the first place there. And now is back in first place on the O2 class. Wilson got the position to Laderas and now is on the podium as Laderas is in the wall. Laderas is in the wall and he's not moving. He's not moving his wheel. He's not moved it. Had issues. Issues on Laderas' part. He's off. That's, I believe, Indianapolis he's off. He's teleported back to the pit lane. He's gonna be penalty locked for 30 seconds. And that is now interesting. Correa and Legler, 2.2 seconds gap to each other. Laderas now is gonna lose positions. Laderas was on that podium position. No, Wilson was on a podium position, but with the teleportation, Laderas jumped up for a second. He's not gonna be a lap down. Sam overtakes as well. And now gaps gonna be, if I can't see the gaps, that'd be nice to have. Gap there, I see it now. There is between Legler and Correa 7 tenths. It says to me, but it's 2.2 still here. Doesn't quite change That is not 2.2 seconds, I believe. I think the timing is just not updating. So the gap, I'm gonna keep you updated on the gap. It is 0.7 tenths, and now it's way closer than that. Legler maybe has a chance. He's taking the slipstream, goes for the aggressive inside line for the overtake, goes back into the lead for the O2 class, and gets the overtake done before the chicane even starts. Is Correa gonna go back? Let me see if I can fix the leaderboards. Doremalen, Milanov in the pit lane. Doremalen out now onto the onto the back straight, the first part towards the first chicane. That's Pierce, that's Kine overtaking the pair. And now towards the first chicane, Legler goes a bit defensive, goes for the middle line. Correa has to decide fast, he goes for the outside line, goes for the normal line. And now through the first corner, catched about, he is about a tenth behind now. He's now looking, Legler goes defensive again. For the inside line. Compromises his line again for the second chicane and spins it round. He spun it. That the line was just too bad for the car, was just too dirty, and he spun it round. And that makes Correa back for the lead in the O2 class. He's the leader again. These two are switching the lead. They are trading it. But this time, it's set and done. Correa is now about 5.5 seconds to Legler. I apologize for the gap. That it's wrong. It's not updating. Issues there. I'm sorry for the wrong timing. As now on track, there isn't quite a lot happening. The closest car to each other is Legler to Correa with a 6-second gap to each other. Kane goes into the pit lane. And now it's a race of endurance. Now it's a race of pace. Who gets the best out of the race now? Look at the mini-map. You just see how spread out the grid was. They were all together on the race start. And now are about a corner apart from each other, but also lapped from each other. So now less happening on track. Looking from the gaps. Milanov is aiming to go for the fastest lap again. Went second, purple second, purple second and purple third, but lost out on the first. Goes purple now. Is Milanov aiming for a better lap? The gap between the two are 24 seconds. Doremalen comfortably leading. He's in the first 40 minutes of the race, comfortably leading, hasn't gotten too many troubles yet this race. Milanov had a few troubles at the start of the race with a few mistakes which cost him quite a bit of time. Milanov looking now for the second sector. Goes across, looking at the timing now. It's not updating yet. Yellow second sector. Lost about a second there. That's interesting. In the second sector, Milanov loses time to Doremalen. So the catch is going to be even harder. 24.7 seconds between the pair. But Milanov with the fastest lap of the race. As I said, Doremalen snatches it. 155.1, about a 5/10 advantage to Milanov's fastest lap. As now Milanov goes through the final chicanes, but with his second sector, it's not the best. Purple sector 1 for Doremalen. He's already on the back straight. He's absolutely flying. And now we're in the part of the race where now concentration is key. The race has calmed down. Now it's just patience. Sector 1 from Jason Murph is 1/10 slower than Doremalen's purple sector 1, 16.000 from Doremalen. Jason Milanov did a 16.1. Look how fast he's flying for the corners, Doremalen. Let's have an onboard. Can't get a good look. Let's go on with this camera. With chase cam. We're seeing the traffic ahead that he has to avoid. Milanov catch the second in that second part of the lap. 46.8 for Milanov second sector, Doremalen 49.9. So it's a 1/10 difference, but now across the line for Doremalen 50.9. Where is Milanov? We have to see his. Let's see his third sector. Look how cleanly he does this fourth chicane. Absolutely on rails. And goes across. Purple sector 3 and fastest lap of the race. So that's where the catch second came from. 22.4 gap between the two. Absolutely flying is Milanov. That's the Kane up ahead. So Milanov can get a bit of slipstream, but will probably also be slowed down towards the first chicane. Beautiful line from Milanov. You just see the difference between the two. How much Milanov just catch there. With the slingshot effect as well from the slipstream. Let's see where he comes out. With this lap sector time, 16.0 sector 1 for Doremalen. 50.1 sector 2 for Doremalen. 16.1 for Jason Miller sector 1. And now across sector 2, 49.4. 6/10 faster than Doremalen. That's just how much time you gain with the power slipstream through Indianapolis. Like he's on rails. Doesn't even unsettle the car. Up ahead is a little bit of traffic. 21 seconds. Milanov to Doremalen. 1 hour 30 minutes remaining in the session. Has to take a bit of a bad line. Milanov, oh, careful with those curbs. Can unsettle the car. There goes. I believe that's there was that I believe going in the pit lane. No, that's not. That's Sam in the pit lane. Now back to Milanov. 22.4 gap to Doremalen, which means in the third sector Milanov has lost about 6/10. Maybe with that bad line we saw through the Porsche curves and the new Maison Blanche, it's had to take a bit of a bad line. That was a bad line through the first chicane as well here. And Doremalen up ahead, catching to a lapped car. That is Laderas, who was fighting for P4 in his class, who is now in P6 in his class. Correa, pit lane. Kane, I believe, did not pit. Kane has they're now on different strategies between the two drivers. Legler gone into the pit lane. Now that's his first lap on those tires. Correa's is on 3 lap old tires, so that's what just happened. The game just had a stroke. I'm so sorry about that. That was really loud. And that was the fastest lap from Doremalen while that happened. Was that the cause of that little audio glitch? 154.5. He snatched the fastest lap by 3 thousandths of a second to Milanov. These two are absolutely pushing each other's limits from the 22.4 gap that Jason Milanov was. Now it's 23.2. Milanov losing out a little bit of time. The timing is still wrong. It's not showing me the correct thing. I can fix it here. It's fixed now. The timing boards are fixed. Thank goodness for that. A bit of technical issues. I apologize for that. And Sound in the pit lane now has gone out. Checking that out. Brendan Pierce mistake. Touched the wall. Correa and Legler on the same lap tires. And that is interesting to see. As before it told me it was 3 lap old tires. I believe I looked at the wrong driver. The Sound behind is on 2 lap old tires. 1 lap older than the 2 ahead. So a bit of a 1 lap difference. And a minute and a half gap between the two. And back to the concentrating part of the race. For everyone except Blomberg and Wilson. Sound now has to look in his rearview mirror. As behind, Wilson, who's gone fresh out the pit lane, is on the freshest tire. And we now have to see how much he catches on that 2 lap old fresher tires. Milanov, fastest lap, 154.2. That's a 3/10 faster. That's 3/10 faster than Guus van Doremalen's fastest lap. And they are trading that now. Not changing positions, but trading fastest laps. Who's gonna be the winner of this race? Milanov is still quite a big chunk behind. But obviously, mistakes can happen. As I wasn't to say that, Sound shows us how quickly you can throw away a big chunk of time. As now Wilson is 6/10 behind now, and gaining through the Porsche curves. Gained there, and also through the new Mason Blanche, and now through the 4 chicane. Alternative line for Sound. Wilson goes for a more outside line and looks like lost out a little there. A 10th lost. But with the slipstream, let's see if he can fight it back. Towards a chicane number 1, turn 2 and 3. And it just looks like these two are absolutely fighting it to the absolute edge. And it was a better line from Wilson. Goes to the inside. And now side by side on the first part of the straight. And Wilson is passed. Wilson overtook. So now Sound has to fight back that position. After 20 minutes of no action, we are back with a on-track battle between the P3 of the O2 class. Between Sound and Wilson. Wilson has the upper hand with the tire advantage. Jason Milanov, 153.8. And he's absolutely flying here. He's catched this rhythm. As Sound nearly made a mistake there. Has lost the rear on the entry of the corner. Nearly lost the entirety of the car. Blomberg in behind, just 4.8 seconds. So there might be something happening there soon as well. Will Sam lost out now to the second. He's 1.1 out. And nighttime. I believe we're now midnight. Looking at the time of track, if it's possible to see. Not quite the on-track time. But we just have to see here the drivers having to not make any mistakes, as the switch of positions can happen just as soon as possible. Blombergen, mistake! Oh, big mistake. Lost 6 seconds there. Out of Arnage. Lost the rear. Lorenzo Ladedas also. Big damage on the front. 94 kilometers an hour incident. Has to hit the wall. I don't know which one. Milanov again aiming to go even faster. 59 sector 1. 49.6 sector 2. Keeping this up. This might be the next fastest lap. He's absolutely pushing the limits of that car. But he's risking, as that was not an optimal line. Looking now, this might not be his 6 attempts down on his Delta. 7 now. 1:54.8. Still faster than Doremalen's last lap. Legler, mistake. Slightly touched the wall. It's not great if he wants to catch to Correa. It's 2.4 hours off Le Mans. We're nearly halfway through the race. Oh! Legler again, mistake through there. Cutting the corner. As there has been it said there was a switch between Kine and Pierce. But Ben and Pierce was already in third, so I don't know what that was all about. Maybe a mistake in the timing. Tire life wise, Doremalen 9 lap old tires, Milanov 9 lap old tires, Pierce 9 lap old tires, and Thomas Kine different strategy 7 lap old tires. Correa 4, Legler 4. Wilson 2, Sound 4, Blombergen 5, and Frank Dapper 1 lap all tires. Ladedas is on 4. So mostly everyone is on the same strategies, with a few driving a slightly alternative one. Now again, a more calm part of the race. The drivers might not be as calm as me here in the commentary booth, but oof, gone wide was Sam there through the final corner. Got a bit wide. Ladedas, big incident. Now has a lot of rear damage as well. 105 kilometers an hour. He's having issues. He's having issues. I think with his controller, he's having issues driving this car. And P11, up ahead, not quite a difference. Milanov is under the 20 seconds. Milanov is aiming to catch to Doremalen before the end of the race. We're 5 minutes away from the halfway mark. And it's just great to see how much these guys are absolutely pushing the car and the powers as well. Wow, that was a really aggressive line through there, nearly onto the grass. Another 10th catch, about 19.12 Doremalen, which is real good for Milanov right now. He's having an absolutely spin. No! Milanov has been pushing it too hard and has made the mistake. The tires are just too short. Doremalen took that opportunity to go into the pit lane. Milanov must be joining too now. And that lost him 6 seconds. All the time he's scratched. Gone. Just with one mistake. There he goes into the pit lane. And that big heartache took him 30 minutes to catch 6 seconds. And with that, the hopes might be over for Milanov's win. Doremalen is aiming to get the triple crown here. He will get it. He will be a triple crown. He will be awarded the triple crown if he wins this race. With Doremalen winning this season's Monaco Grand Prix and also the Indy 50, I believe. The Indy 50 also being won by him. So he is absolutely aiming to get it. And now we're gonna see. As I believe, no, Doremalen did not get the Indy 50 win. Looking at more ahead, this season, will Doremalen aim to get the triple crown? Doremalen has won the Monaco Grand Prix and right now is aiming to win the Le Mans. 2.4 hours of Le Mans. He's aiming to get the win here as well. One thing that is missing is not only the Indy 50 win. Will he get it? It's all on him. Press some buttons on my keyboard without wanting to do that. Hopefully not breaking anything. Stream is still running fine. On track, Correa is 10 seconds to Kane. Correa's aiming to get his P4 here and overtake a 01 class car. Kane is in the pit lane, and this might mean Correa will get the position. Kane has made a big mistake that will cost him P4, and Correa's passed. There he is. Kane is now leaving, and now it's updated. And now it's updated. Now it makes more sense. Correa only unlapped himself. Would have been interesting to see a 02 car catching an 01 car, but obviously the difference between those two cars, or lap time wise, is immense. With the fastest lap right now of the 01 car, 1:53.8, and the fastest lap of the 02 car is the 2:13.6. That is about 17 to 18 seconds slower. But obviously, depending on some mistakes, that's exactly what can also cause issues. We've seen the drivers having made many mistakes this race. About 1 hour 20 minutes in, and towards the lead. As here, looks like what is happening here? Brendan Pierce. This is better for third. I believe this is better for third. I hope the timing updates. Both timing tell me they're about a second behind. Oh, big. Oh, he's flipped the car. And he's. What the? No, that's a huge incident. He's huge. Huge. Kindness back on the tires. But Dapper had to teleport, flipping the car. And what an incident that was. Taking too much off that sausage curb and flipping completely over the fence. Wilson has made a little bit of a mistake, touched the wall, but wow, what have we seen? What was that? Huge, huge, huge. Tried to go for a risky overtake, which didn't quite work out. And now here Sam goes into the pit lane while Correa leaves the pit lane. There we go. And now daytime is closing in on us. We might finish the race in daytime. Interesting race so far. Issues again, the timing tower. I apologize for that. Let's hope it comes back soon. While that is happening, let's see on the other one, on my current one. It looks like on track right now, not much is happening. Pace has dropped towards all drivers. They've gone more for safe driving. As whoa! I say that Milanov nearly flips his car. Lost the front end. Went airborne for a second. And that is incredible. Brendan Pierce, 7/10 up on his fastest lap. And does he improve? He improves on his lap time. He's the fastest on track right now. 155.1. That was the fastest lap that was the fastest lap that stint so far. Milanov and Doremalen are aiming for this lap to go faster, so we're gonna see here what happens there. Milanov still is pushing the absolute limit. Let's see Doremalen's driving here. The leader of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. He's on rails. He's done no mistakes this race. Sitting on board. Let's see what the driver sees. Towards turn 1. Now turn 2 and 3. Takes everything off the track that's available. Pushing the absolute limits. And this is just hypnotizing to watch. Goes now. Laps. There's been an overtake on track. I think so. Not quite. It says it. Timing tower has been a mistake. My apologies. And my eyes are more on that to see if anything happens. Doremalen goes through the second chicane and now up to Mussen happen. Right-hander into sharp right-hander. Absolutely gripping his way through there. Doesn't even feel like it happened for him. He is absolutely flying on this track. His practice is paying out so far. And the car is on rail, is exactly doing what he's telling him to do. Incredible, being flat through the push curves. And now for the fourth chicane, no mistakes. Frank Dapper has a little bit of incident there. He is on the right. Doremalen, fastest lap of the race, 153.7. 1:10 faster than Milanov fastest lap. As daytime comes round now, the lights are the sun starting to shine on the track. Going driving sector 1, you see the sun. Going onto being on the straight, you see the other side, still very dark there. It's getting a little brighter. I hope you as a viewer are not getting quite tired, as my brain is getting fooled. I had a long day ahead of myself as well, so Saturday evening, obviously the exhaustion of these drivers will also be a little out there. Now going for the second chicane, Mulsanne King, and now up to the Mulsanne Hairpin. Just called Mulsanne, but basically half of the straight also is called Mulsanne. So I must say the difference between them. Lorenzo Lareda's incident, having issues still with his car. Going through Indianapolis, does Doremalen. From this perspective, it looks like he's risking everything, but he's absolutely calm and collected. No mistakes, lapping without issues. Flat. Look at how grippy he's flying through there. On rails. And now through the 4th chicane. Left, right, no mistakes. It's an average lap for him, this one. Goes fast as sector 3. Attacking all the curves. This car is stable as anything. You can attack as much of the curb. Other drivers sometimes have more issues. As you see now through the first part of the chicanes on the Mulsanne straight. Towards the second chicane. This part is the Mulsanne, part of the straight is called the Mulsanne straight. And now the second chicane, the left part. Cleanly through there. Calm, collected, and no issues. Looking at gap times as well. Let's see Milanov's on board. Going for a bit of switching from lap traffic. That's Frank Dapper. He's lapping here. Second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. Way more aggressive than Doremalen's driving, taking more curb. And now approaching Mulsanne. Not using 6th gear. He redlined the two Mulsanne. Average lap so far from Milanov. Way more aggressive on the steering than Doremalen's driving. Doremalen is very smooth on steering. Milanov's driving is way more aggressive. As you see the sun rising on the horizon on the right. There's a car going into the pit lane there. I believe that's Legler. Did a mistake. Crash with Ashley van der Sar. Milanov through the first sector, very aggressive. Yellow sector 1. Approaching approaching chicane 1 on the Mulsanne straight. Doremalen up ahead. Green sector 2. 49.4. He's on on par with his usual lap times. Milanov. After this, after Morsane, is sector 2 line. Not switching to 6th. Interesting choice there. Purple sector 2 from Milanov. Has Milanov figured out the secret by not shifting into 6th? Through Indianapolis. Now through the Porsche curves. Staying in 5th. Doremalen did this in 6th. Lap time here. Takes a lot more curb, Milanov. Might be faster, but loses the rear out of the Ford chicane. We have daytime again. 48. Well, but fastest lap of the race, 1:53.7. Milanov, absolutely flying again. Trying to catch back the time that he's lost after that mistake. The big spin that he had. Closest car to a battle right now is Jason to Doremalen. One hour, 8 minutes remaining in the session. We're approaching the final hour of the race. I apologize if my commentary has gone a little dry now, but we gotta have to wait. Looking at more of the... This is now part of the strategic game. They are waiting, they are keeping their minds collected, still pushing, but also having eyes on lap time. Lights have turned off now on track, so now it's full on daytime. You see the that was Lombagen getting lapped by Milanov. Through the final chicane goes Milanov. Very aggressive still. He often loses the rear through there. This time was very average lap from him. Actually Van der Sam's going for more faster lap time. Switch back to TV camera. Seen enough on board. Brendan Pace having also a race of his time here, aiming for his first podium, I believe, and also a podium in Le Mans. His first podium in Le Mans. Is absolutely flying here. He's also calm and collected. He's taking all the time he can. Enough to not unsettle the car. Haven't seen many mistakes from him in the past minutes. Yeah, on to day 2 here now. Off the race. Kane is in the pit lane. Thomas Kane pits. Doremalen as well. 10 lap old tires is usually where the pit window is. So Milanov might join here as well. There's a little bit of lapping there. Milanov nearly had issues there. Had nearly repeated what Kane did. Nearly flipping the car. There we go. Milanov goes into the pit lane as I predicted. 10 lap old. Brendan Pace will be joining in after this as well. Let's stay in the back. We see some other some O2 cars. The MFT02 cars. And the MFT01 cars being the fan cars. The race gone so far. We are 1 hour 40 minutes through in the race. More than halfway. The drivers are just trying to keep it together. I believe as much as exhaustion's kicking in for me, exhaustions might be kicking in for them. Obviously I'm not feeling the adrenaline they are. Adrenaline is a big factor while driving. Usually when you're doing a mundane task, after a bit of time when you feel tired, that's it for the body. But if you're doing a task which gives you a lot of adrenaline, even after quite a bit of time and energy, you might still feel fine, which then makes the drop harder. I believe the drivers after the race will have absolutely zero energy. I have driven these cars with a direct drive wheel and they have a lot of force feedback and they are not easy to drive. Correa, pit lane. Legler might join in, 7 lap old tires. Milanov not managing to catch to Doremalen. Milanov is a 29.6. See if we can update the leaderboards. It's not working yet. Left boards still having issues. Stays on 27 seconds. She is in the pit lane. Legler also. Laderas as well. Legler goes off. Some right behind. I believe 1 lap behind. And some is 1 lap behind Legler. And the grid is spreading out more and more. Saying that, Milanov catch 2 seconds. Milanov has on a 27.1. Might have been a micro mistake from Doremalen. Look at the sector times. There has been a little bit of loss in sector 2. 49.4 for Doremalen. 48.9 for Milanov. Now Doremalen across the line. Let's see what he does. 48.5. So lap time off. 156.0. Milanov. What is he gonna do? Going now towards the 4th chicane. Great run through there. Across the line he goes. Fastest lap again, 153.4. Absolutely flying here. And that's where the 2 seconds have been catched. From Doremelen's fastest lap, 153.7. Milanov fastest lap, 153.4. These drivers' fastest lap is about a 4/10 difference. On the same lap as well. entering now the final hour of the race. I've said it now quite a few times, but I'll say it again. Here, this is the toughest hour here. 59 minutes to go. And now all the patience, all the left, tiny left energy left, you now use it. And oh, Milanov, risky move for the lapped car. Milanov, lap time to Doremalen is not lap time gap to Doremalen is 28.0, but I believe that's 27.9 after crossing the line. And it stays there. 15.7 for sector 1, last lap for Milanov. He was aiming to get a good lap time. But lost out in sector 2 and 3. Having to overtake Kane here. The PlayStation livery car. Having a bit of issues. They are fighting it. Goes round the inside. Milanov. Towards the first chicane. And Milanov shoots past. Brave on the brakes. Kane can't respond. Kane didn't manage to respond there. Doremalen, fastest sector 2. Very consistent from a top 3. They're consistently doing 53s for Doremalen, 53s for Milanov, and 54s for Brendan Pearce. Let's see this lap from Doremalen. Might he get the fastest lap here? Will he get it? Cross the line. He doesn't quite manage. Loses out in sector 3. 48.8. Lost about a second there. Menno Blomberg incident. Going through sector 1. Correa going fast sector 2. The gap at the bottom is wrong. Kane is 4 laps ahead. Correa, leader of a MFT02 car. Brendan Pearce, mistake. Off, out of Indianapolis complex. Missed the braking point, I believe. Gone wide and onto the grass and now back onto the track. Still out on podium position, has 1 lap advantage to Kane. Has to be careful not to lose that out. Any advantage that you can have, you want to keep. Obviously mistakes are prone to happen. Tiredness and driver stability might start to drop. Milanov 3 times up on his fastest lap. No rain in sight for the race so far. Lost a second, sector 2. Jason Milanov. FSGP champion here. Seeing it on the car. As it says it on the front. On the side. FSGP Series 2022 champion. But does he manage to get the win in the 2.4 hours off Le Mans? Jacob Legler, incident. mental power of my commentating is also starting to drop. I really apologize for that. As Doremalen goes a little wide out of the Mulsanne chicane happen. Touches the grass with the outside tires but doesn't lose the car, lucky. That's gotta be careful with ground effect cars. A change of environment, change of ground will be an easy loss on the rear. But that car is on rails. It's been comfortably driving it for the past 1.5 hours. It doesn't look like he's letting go so far. Fastest sector 2, Milanov. He's staying in limbo, 28 seconds to Doremalen. Sector times are looking competitive from Thomas Kine. Catching a little to Brendan Pace. Sector 3 lost by Milanov. 49-1. Final sector. 154.5 last lap from Milanov. 154.1 last lap from Doremalen. Going down the first part of Mulsanne straight into the first chicane. Doremalen really abusing all millimeters of the track that he can. Green sector 1, green sector 2. Doremalen is on a hot lap here, it's on a shocker lap. Going through Indianapolis. No mistakes so far, very clean from him. Going through the Persia curve. Now through the fourth chicane. Very fast through here. Final corner on the exit now. And he lost it out in the sector 3. 48.7, 4 tenths faster than Milanov's average for sector 3. 153.6. 3 from Doremalen, his best lap so far in the race. He has again, after 1.5 hours of driving, Doremalen has completed his personal best lap of the race. It's only 2 tenths behind Jason Milanov's best lap of the race. And the fastest lap of the entire race. Every car right now is on their average lap and sector time. Catching to a back marker, that's Frank Dapper. Gets it done easily, no issues. Now 50 minutes remaining in the race. Doremalen, clean on his lap time. Competitive right now. Let's see what this lap is. 54.4. Lost out 7 tenths to last lap. Milanov, what is Milanov going for? 54, 1:54.4. Identical lap time as Doremalen. Still in that limbo phase. 28 seconds gap between the two. The drivers absolutely pushing the hardest they can. Only 2 drivers right now in the top 5 are under their delta. Brendan Pierce and Antonio Correa. The rest is up right now. Losing out a little. Doremalen only one right now, going for a PB. Personal best for Doremalen across the Porsche curves. Towards the 4th chicane. And Doremalen now on the exit. Doesn't really. Jacob Legler, Incident, and Thomas Kine. Both with the environment. 15 kilometers an hour for Jacob Legler, 44 for Thomas Kine. Last lap, Guus van Doremalen, 1:54.2. Jason Milanov, how is he gonna respond to that? Pits for pit 4, I believe that's Dapper. Frank Dapper in the pit lane. Laderas is out now after having a bit of issues with his car. Is back on top, back onto the track, and maybe he can bring something to it now. Last lap Milanov, 1:54.4. Last lap Doremalen, 1:54.2. Ashley crash. Ashley having a bit of issues out of Mulsanne, losing the rear little. Drivers have stopped pushing and now are on average lap times. Doremalen staying on the low 54s. Milanov trying that as well, but not quite keeping up. I was on the mid 54s. Brendan Pierce high 55s. Thomas Kine, low 59s. Last lap was a 2:04. Antonio Correa, staying on 2:29s. And Jacob Legler is on 2:34. Guus Doremalen in the pit lane. 10 lap old tires. Jason Milanov might join him soon here now. Ashley van der Sar pit lane. 7 lap old tires. Wilson stays out. Wilson is probably gonna complete his pit stop this lap. 7 lap old tires right now. Usually the crumble point of his tires or even fuel. As I said at the beginning of the race, the fuel in these cars can empty out faster than the tires usage can go. Milanov, pit lane. 45 minutes to go. Three quarters of an hour. Milanov is out. Looking at the gap between Doremalen. 30.4 lost on the pit stop. The limbo is getting worse. He's dropping from 28 seconds to now 30 seconds. Ashley van der Sar says 2 seconds to Blombergen right there. The closest car's on track right now. Looking at sector times. Ashley 21.6. Blombergen 20.3. Blombergen is faster in sector 1. Brendan Pierce in the pit lane. Sector 2 times, Blombergen 58.5. Ashley Vandersheim 59.0. Blombergen is increasing the gap just a little. Sam needs to pick up the pace here if he wants to get that P8 in the championship. That's Milanov here going past the green tail. Going through the Persia curve. Last lap, Jason Milanov, 2:12. That's the pit lane lap. As having to avoid the traffic. Nearly makes a mistake there. Takes a lot of curb. Keeps the car facing the right direction. New lap time, 1:56.4. Doremalen last lap, 1:56.0. Milanov is losing out just slightly to Doremalen. Doremalen's average pace is just a minimum amount faster than Milanov. Doremalen is looking like it to keep it in the back. He's going safe, but not too but not too slow, but not too aggressive. He's on that medium pace, still faster than Milanov's safe pace. The drivers will probably have this track now memorized in their minds. I could be driving this after eyes shut. After this much of a race. Some of these drivers have been constantly hop-lapping here now for practice, and now in the race, all the knowledge that they've been gaining and learning, they can now use it all. Doremalen goes through the fourth chicane. Does a 1:54.2. Goes back to the lower 54s. How will Milanov respond? Milanov slides out of the fourth chicane. Lap time 1:54.6. Jacob Legler incident spins it out of the chicane. 53 kilometers an hour, has a lot of damage all around. That's Milanov coming past, has he left by, but takes a lot of curb, keeps it facing the right way. Thomas Kine, pit lane. Blombergen out of the pit lane now. Battle for 8th is still can still happen between Sam and Blombergen. Sam's undercut has worked. Sam has 3-lap all tires while Blombergen won. Sam goes up to P8 with a nicely timed strategy call and gaining with that undercut. Undercut is strong on this track. So we might see at the end of the race maybe Milanov having to maybe look for a alternative. On to the gap between Milanov and Doremalen, 31.9, and it's still increasing. From the 28 limbo that he was in, his gap has gone up to 32 seconds. Doremalen, last lap, 1:54.2. What will Milanov respond to that? (1:54.9), losing more and more. Milanov's pace is dropping. He's starting to get tired. And it's fully understandable. This is always an endurance race meant to take the absolute extreme part of the drivers here. 39 minutes remaining in the session. The drivers are reaching the final stretch of the race. Brendan Pierce incident. The race is in the closing stages, and the drivers' positions are still a bit open between P8, Simon Blombergen, with their difference in strategy. Who will at the end get the better of the two? Let me see if I can fix the timings here. There have been a little bit of issues. I'm not updating anymore. I'm sorry about that. I really apologize. Jason Milanov, big incident with David Wilson. That's gonna cost him a lot of time and a lot of damage and aerodynamical impact. It's more than a second down on his lap so far. Doremalen, last lap, 154.9. Milanov, last lap, 155.2. Blombergen incident. Doremalen lapping the traffic. No issues so far from Doremalen. Like driving with instincts. "37 minutes remaining in the session. We're getting closer to the final half an hour. Doremalen getting a bit of traffic through the Ford chicane. Last lap, Doremalen 156.2 with the lap traffic. Milanov. About to approach the start finish straight. Through the Ford chicane he goes. Cross the line now. Last lap is 155.1. Catch the second to Doremelen's traffic issues. 32 seconds gap between the two drivers. Milanov absolutely pushing the limits of his car, going sometimes sideways through the corners, taking as much as curb as the car physically allows it. Meeting the traffic that Doremalen saw before. That was Frank Dapper. Mano Blombergen losing to Ashley van der Sar. 9.5 seconds gap between the two. Sector times are not improving anymore by any of the drivers. Staying on yellow. Meeting a bit more lap traffic as Milanov. Having to cut the corner. Jacob Legler incident. Last lap Doremalen 154.4. Milanov, how will we respond? 155.1, lost 7/10. Jacob Legler incident. The cars are all on a rhythm here. Times are still looking average for everyone here. Yellow overall, Lorenzo Laderas crash. Spun out onto the second, out of the second chicane. How will he respond here? Is he going to be able to recover it? He is stopped and he's gone back to the pit lane. Penalty. Penalty log 4, 30 seconds. Yellow across the board. No one's improving. Doremalen last lap 154.7. Milanov 154.4. First lap he's catching to Correa pit lane. Milanov back onto the grind to go back to catch back to Doremalen. He has 31 minutes remaining to be able to put the lap times he wants. Gained 3 attempts, sector 1. Milanov now crossing sector 2. Gains 3 tenths sector 2. This lap net gain so far 3 tenths sector 1, 3 tenths sector 2, 6 tenths across the board. Gap dropping to 31.0. Doremalen across the line 154.9. Milanov. Legler incident. Pit lane. Milanov across the line. 154.5. Catched 4 tenths that lap. Lost out sector 3. Catch to Pierce. Brandon Pierce is having a spectacular race so far. Staying in P3 and not causing himself trouble. Exactly what you like to see in an endurance race. Milanov, sadly with his starting mistakes. Usually the race is not decided in lap 1, but with his mistakes, it kinda was done and settled. Doremalen, absolute great drive from him. No mistakes. And he's still going strong here. But this lap is not looking great so far. 17.4, lost about 1.5 seconds in sector 1. Lapping Kane here soon. Looks like Doremalen last lap 1:56.1. Milanov 1:54.5. Across the line he goes now too. 54.9 gap 29.5. The gap has drastically decreased. 3 seconds gain from Milanov in the past 3 minutes. Now, situation so far. Last lap from Doremalen, who's about to cross the line soon, going towards the Porsche curves. Last lap from Doremalen after mistake in sector 1 was 1:56.1. Milanov's lap, last lap, was 1:55.9. Catch 2 and 2/10 there. Doremalen pit lane, 10 lap low tires. Milanov will join in this lap. Now Milanov joining in the pit lane. Doremalen is already out. Going out of turn 3, now 4. Let's see. Doremalen always is fast in the pit lane. Catches about always 1 to 2 seconds. Has Milanov learned his mistakes? Does he know where to gain the time in the pit lane? Comes out now. Overall gap. Lost another second to Doremalen, 30.3. Situation so far, 25 minutes until the end of the race. 30 seconds between our top two drivers. And the rest of the grid is having less of a spectacular race. They about lapped each other, and only driver who is still on the same lap is Blombergen and Salm. Joining me now in the commentary booth for the final 25 minutes is Ethan Mills. Say hello. Say hello.
Hello, back again after like a year and a half, 2 years off.
So I can tell you the situation so far. With 25 minutes remaining in the 2.4 hours of Le Mans, we have Guus van Doremalen leading from start to finish. Average lap time of 1:56. Milanov was fighting him for the lead in the first few laps. Absolute spectacular battle. Had an incident in the first 10 lap. Had an incident in the 10th lap around there. Dropped down to about a 30-second gap. Worked himself up to about 18 seconds, but did another mistake and now was up to 30-second gap again. He's catching now again, but up and down sometimes. Brendan Pearce has been staying in third for the entirety of this race. He had a bit of a battle with Kane, but there was a mistake from him and are now 2 laps from each other. It says here Brendan Pearce is 3 seconds behind Milanov, but I don't believe that. What has happened there? Are we gonna have a battle for P2 here? As Brendan Pearce, the times is telling me 3 seconds. I'm not sure. I believe it's wrong. It's gonna have to update because they've been lapping it. Milanov has lapped.
No, it's updating.
Milanov has lapped Pearce as far as I know. So we must see here. Yeah, lap time. Look at the laps. 61 laps for Milanov, 60 laps for Brendan Pearce. So
Interesting.
lap.
Weird.
Brendan Pearce, P3. Thomas Kane, P4. 2 laps from from Brendan Pearce. Leading in the MFT02 class is Antonio Correa. He's had a spectacular race so far. Started on pole, but had a great battle with Legler. They've overdone each other very often. They've traded positions for about 20 to 30 minutes. Have now settled, and Correa is leading in the class. Legler in second, with a lap difference. Wilson in third. Has to have a quiet race. Has only done overtakes with the mistakes of the others. Simon Blomberg are the 2 cars that are the closest together on track right now with 30 seconds to each other. Sam is going with a slightly alternative strategy, which has helped him in one of the strategies with an undercut, which made him overtake Blomberger. Dapper had a few issues and didn't drive for a lap. And Laderas teleported 3 times back to the pits because of damage. Laderas is having issues. He's on the wets, what? No, he's not. It looked like he was on the wets. My eyes right now for the past half an hour was the distance between Doremalen and Milanov. So
Yeah, I'm not sure how. Has that sort of been sat around that 30-second mark for the past couple of laps, or has it been closing more?
it was on the 40-minute mark, and I had a thing. I said it was on the limbo on the 28 seconds because it stayed for 20 minutes on 28 seconds. Then after a pit stop, then after 2 pit stops, it dropped down to 32, and it's been jumping around from 30 to 32. Right now it's 31.2.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be on like very similar strategies by the fact they're on the same stint length at the minute. But then I've missed 2 hours of racing, so...
Laderas is in the wall.
That's no good.
Laderas had an incident
Always.
out of the Indianapolis complex.
Yeah, that's unlucky. Seems like the driver's been having quite a difficult race today, but it's only one race, so hopefully we can see them in the series more often in either the full-time league we have going or more special events just as whenever they're free.
As I think Doremalen is shooting here for not quite a triple crown. He has won the Monaco Grand Prix and is looking right now set to get the win here at Le Mans. But have you remembered if he won the Indy 50?
I can look into it if you want.
Yes,
Special events, no.
As he's won as
Trophy showcase, here we are.
Casper, I think,
Forgot.
won this year.
Cadillac. Won this year's 50s. I can scroll through just to find each 50 winner if you want.
Yes, if that's the case, Doremalen might be here, looking to get the triple crown. 31.1 second gap, Jason Milanov to Doremalen. Lap times 55.5 from Doremalen. Milanov 54.0. That's a second and a half catch. Looks like a mistake from Doremalen last lap. Times have been also going up. I believe the drivers are getting tired here. I can say I am. Look at this. I've used all my energy as the opening laps were extremely entertaining and energetic.
Just having a look through. Did we have a Indy 2022? Yes, we did. That was the first one. Or was the 21 and 21? Because you had Phoenix win the first one, then it was Brendan, then it was Cadillac. Doesn't see if there was one in 21.
So Doremalen hasn't won the Indy 50 yet. So far as we know.
No, because there wasn't one in 2021.
Alright, so Doremalen
that's going to be in his bucket list.
Doremalen is not gonna go for the triple crown yet, but he's getting closer to that triple crown as if he wins here the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Milanov gap 30.4, catch another second. Up on his delta as well. In the back, it doesn't quite look like. Blombergen catch 2 seconds to Saum. Actually, he's having a bit of issues. Blombergen is catching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Might see a little bit of on-track battling. These cars are amazing to drive. The one difficulty is the small steering radius, and but having such a big turning radius, or small turning radius.
I believe it's small, so you have like 90 degrees of turning.
Yeah, the steering's only 90 degrees, but the wheels steer so much with that little bit of 90 degrees.
Yeah.
It's like no matter how much understeer you try put in the car, you'll always feel like you're on a knife's edge because you can just turn a little bit and it will steer the car so much.
Yeah, I also have seen drivers suffering with oversteer and just spinning it off with the cars here. I believe the torque on these things is just power to weight ratio is incredibly out of the roof with these cars.
Yes, it's similar to a motorbike, I believe, or somewhere between sort of the average car and a motorbike, so it's going to be quite mad. I believe, from what I've heard, it's a motorbike engine in the back. I can double check that with people.
Interesting. Another second catch from Milanov to Doremalen. Milanov is now lapping Thomas Kane, which lost him half a second, but that slipstream effect is extremely overpowered. Thomas Kane touches Jason Milanov, but not enough to make an incident. Last lap, Jason Milanov 154.1, Guus van Doremalen 155.8. Doremalen's pace is dropping. Jason is taking everything he can now. Look how agile these cars are. It's always nice to see them going through North Lane with barely no brakes. They are flying through there, gripping with that mechanical grip as well. As I know that the MFT01 is running on mostly ground effect, but those tires are really grippy.
Yeah, I think it's the super low weight ratio with just they're either kart tires or modified kart tires in some way.
They seem too big to be car tires. I believe they are like their own. the mixture of those tires, they have barely no tire life, but they are really soft. But usually the fuel is what goes out first. Doremalen has picked up the pace. 54.3 last lap. 156.0. Milanov. Milanov has done a grave mistake last lap. Lost in 2 seconds. 14 minutes left in the session. Ethan, what are you expecting to see?
I mean, at the moment, it's just hoping that each driver gets through. I can't see many close battles. That Bloomberg and Salm could get dicey. Bloomberg looking to be about 0.3 faster on that last lap, so we'll see if he can keep that pace. If he can close that lap, I'm not sure how many laps we'd get out of 15 minutes, but if he can take chunks out of that gap more and more, hopefully the battle will spice up a little bit.
He is under the 9 seconds gap. He was 13 around the 20-minute mark, so he is getting closer to Ashley van der Sar, yeah. So we might see something folding out at the end of the race. How much strain do you think these drivers are having right now in these 2.4 hours of the race?
I mean, I think for any driver, like pushing for 2 hours can take it out of you, especially when it's a timed race. So you're just sort of pushing until the timer hits 0, not to a lap count, which would definitely be difficult for them. But I'd say definitely with how little steering, you need even more precision, and it's even harder to steer the wheel at times if you're using, as you were saying earlier in the stream, you're using a direct drive wheel. But then even someone that's keyboard and mouse, which I don't know if there's a keyboard and mouse driver in, but I know.
I believe that is on controller.
Yeah, something like controller will just be the amount of psychological and mental strain there is with having to concentrate and make sure every input with your hand is perfect each lap. But with the drivers that are on the sim rig with steering wheel and pedals, it'll still be quite a physical strain as well as a mental strain, but they can get away with using their muscle memory in their legs and arms a bit more. But yeah, the physical strain of having to hit the brakes every single corner, slam down the throttle to make sure you get out of the corner as fast as possible, it's all the physical part, which people don't think about in this sim racing.
Looking at Milanov's driving line right now, I think he's getting tired. He's starting to weave a little, going from left side to the right side, sometimes even touching the grass. I think he's feeling it right now. Gap right now, Milanov 2, Doremalen, 30.0 seconds. Gap, Blomberger to Salm, 0.6, and big incident! Big incident! Who's been involved?
Oh, just seeing that now.
That was
Milanov.
Laderas. That was Lorenzo Laderas and Milanov. Milanov is gonna be not happy to have that happening to him as he's trying to catch to Doremalen, and that's gonna now lose him 2 seconds. But talking about catching, Blombergen 6.4 seconds to Salm, 4th in the class. They are getting closer and closer.
Not what you want to see. Not something you want to see. Multi-class collision is never nice. But yeah, I think that was just the driver trying to get out of the way a bit too late, and the lapping car maybe trying to give enough space, maybe not quite giving enough space. I didn't quite catch the instant, but whatever was the cause or the reason, it's something that it's done now. everyone needs to get on with the race, and we'll have to think about it at the end if that affects the result.
Probably a bit of concentration loss from both drivers with
Definitely.
about 2.2 hours driven in the race. Here we see on the cameras Salm and Blomberg and teammates on the same camera now. The pink chocolate sponsored car. They are getting closer to each other ever so slightly. 3.9 seconds now.
Yeah, closing up that gap. Good to see down the Mulsanne straight as the pictures I'm seeing might be different on stream. But yeah, just these karts are always looking fun and pointy just because of how small it is, and in real life the drivers driving these karts could even use their weight as they're going through corners to help the kart rotate, which would definitely be an interesting kart-like characteristic in a car power vehicle. It's a bit too big to be a car, a bit too small to be a car, so definitely its own field of racing.
If we go with that, what would you say the BMW Isetta is?
Assetto. Let me have a look at that.
The freewheel minicar.
Oh yeah.
Guys, the four-wheeled actually, but like the rear wheels are so close together. What do you say that? Is that a vehicle car? It's small.
Yeah, but that's like saying Reliant Robin isn't quite a car, or I am Pil P50.
It's the best vehicle ever existed.
Yeah.
Sad that they
Fine,
had
what
to
are we calling a
discontinue
Pil P50?
it. Oh, the PLP. Man.
I'd love to
always
see
the-
those all sort of 5 cars, the 3 Formula students plus the Isetta and the P50, all racing against each other in
One car I
multi-class.
do want to see is what was it? The Daihatsu. Oh man, it was like the famous Gran Turismo 4 win car. Doremalen pit lane. 7 minutes remaining. 10 laps on those tires. Milanov as well. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Doremalen's gonna leave the pit soon. There he is now. Blombergen, 1 second to his teammate. This is gonna be now in the final 6 minutes. There will probably not be a pit lane from them as they have only 3 laps on those tires. In the slipstream, Blombergen is now.
Ooh, these cars, especially this MFT02, breaking the air a lot more than previous cars such as the 01 with a bit more streamlined design. This with the big rear wing to clear out some air, getting that slipstream, trying to get pulled down the straights a bit more, gain 2-3 kilometers an hour on the driver ahead, which is just about enough to get past.
So we're now approaching Indianapolis. It's about 0.7 seconds. Blombergen has the pace advantage to his teammate. Number 30 versus number 42. Who's gonna finish? 5 minutes remaining. It's about 2 to 3 laps for these cars. It's gonna be a final push till the end. And I know that it's not gonna be the easiest thing to do after saying that they've been exhausted. They've been doing it for the past 2.4 hours. And now in the end, when it comes out, Blombergen takes a really risky line, takes a bad line there, and loses out.
Yeah, using a lot of curb to get that car turned. 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it all comes down to this last sort of 2-3 laps, last 5 minutes of the race. For the battle for P8, or it'll be a good one to see how this finishes out.
This might not be for the podium position in their class, but P4 is still P4. Best of the rest. And Blombergen didn't have the greatest of qualifyings, being starting P10 while Salm started P11. and is now up into P8. And there's an incident! There's an incident! Sam spun it! Sam has spun it! And Blombergen is past! He was just pushing too much. He was just too much under pressure. And he folded 4 minutes before the race end. And Blombergen had so much luck here. And gets the position on his teammate. Gets P4 in this class.
Yeah, that's unlucky there. I mean, that's definitely got to be in part due to the fatigue of 2 hours, 2.5 hours of driving a car like this. So it's unlucky to see, but it's fair enough understanding how long they've been driving for. So 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. A little bit of lapping on Bloomberg, and then it's unlucky to see the pass done in that way, but I think we would have seen the pass in one way or another between those two.
Talking about endurance here, Ethan, you've driven some endurance races. What would you say was your longest... Oh, wait, there's been an incident. Sorry. David Wilson was Jason Milanov. Milanov is still racing, but what's happened with Wilson?
A lot of front end damage.
That must have been probably an overtake. It's not quite seeing each other and colliding, but not big on the loss. Milanov, I believe, is still about the 32-second gap. We're gonna see after this lap where he is. But while we wait, Ethan, you've driven some endurance races. What was your longest stint that you've driven?
I believe my longest stint straight is about 3 hours. Just sort of... I can't remember if it was picking up a stint or just the schedule worked out that I needed to take 3 hours straight, but I think it was about 2.5, 3 stints. But overall, like, no matter the gap between your stints, going into your second or third stint of a race doesn't feel quite the same as the fresh first time in the car, because you've gotten that excitement out, the adrenaline's a bit lower from not being new to the race, and you just sort of working your way through the energies whittling. So I've done about, I think I did 10 hours of a 24-hour one time. But yeah, 6 hours of a 12-hour one time. I just take a lot of time in the car because I know I'm not quite the fastest, but I can keep a consistent lap time.
Yeah, it's just, when you drive about 3 hours, Ethan, where do you feel like is a drop point of your speed?
It's definitely the last couple of laps, sort of last 2 or 3 laps, when you're starting to think about that pit stop. You're starting to look at your strategy, look at your tyres to make sure they're all correct. So you're starting to make little mistakes as you're diverting your attention as well as the fatigue. So it's just a lot for a driver.
My longest stint was about 4 hours, and I felt about onto the, starting the third hour of that stint. I felt like mistakes were starting to be more prone. I started to feel like the usual lines that I took felt a bit awkward, to the point where I wanted to take alternative lines, which made me make mistakes. And I feel like that's what's happening with a few of our drivers here. I've seen, looking at the current laps and the timing, I've seen that the numbers have just been yellow for the past 45 minutes. About like for the drivers, about in 2 hours into the race, they haven't improved anymore. The fastest lap was made by Jason Milanov around the 40-minute mark of the race, 40 minutes remaining of the race.
Yeah, that'll definitely be fatigue, as well as once you get past, especially the halfway mark in a long single driver race like this, they'll just be thinking, let's just take it easy, back off a little bit and make sure I get to the end of my stint, end of my race. So at the beginning of stints, you might see him pushing quite hard for the sake of, I can get a fastest lap, I can catch on the driver in front. But then you get to a point like this, the gaps have opened up so much, the mindset is very different in a driver's head. It's less about win, 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 and it's more about just get to the end. It's an achievement to finish this race, let alone be so high up.
Alright, 2 laps to go until the end of the race has been set by race direction. The time is over and now it's the final laps of the race. So now it's a set amount of laps.
Yeah, that'll be an ease to the driver so they can manage their last couple of laps pace-wise and push-wise. So
Final lap of the race. So let's hop on board with Doremalen and let me take you one last time around this beautiful track. So turn 4, 5 and 6. Now onto the Mulsanne straight, the first part. Approaching the first chicane. Let me butcher the name one last time. The large chicane is called the right-hand corner. Going towards it now. Braking very late with these cars. As Ethan said, these cars have a lot of braking power. There's so much grip that you don't have barely touch them. Now onto the middle part of the Mulsanne straight. Goes Doremalen for the final time. This race approaching La Florandière chicane, the left-hand corner. The left-hand chicane. Brakes late again. Left, right. Goes as right as possible. Gets a good exit. Left again. Mulsanne King. And now the one corner that's just called Mulsanne. I've been calling it the Mulsanne hairpin for the entirety of the race, just because it is a hairpin. But these cars barely take it as a hairpin. 5th gear, 120 kilometers an hour through there. 6th gear there now. Approaching Indianapolis. Very difficult corners. There's a lot of camber through these corners. You can unsettle the car easily, but Doremalen, no issues now. Arnage, final time. Goes onto the grass, so far out. And now approaching the Porsche curve. Right, then left again. And then the new Maison Blanche. Right, and then left. Flat through the entirety of the section. And approaching the final chicane. For the final time, Doremalen can sigh a breath of relief. He's gone for the corner. Final time. And wins the 2.4 hours of Le Mans here in FSGP. What a race.
yeah, strong drive from Guus, strong drive from Jason, everyone involved, strong drive, but Doremalen to only be 0.3 off of his best lap on that final lap. He's just a machine. He's a champion, I believe, in the series, in the Formula Lap Track Series. He is a champion there, and so it's just taken over his experience
He's an
into.
ex-champion. Our current champion right now is Milanov. As he crossed the line to get second and does a barrel roll just to accomplish that. You'll see it very soon there.
Yeah, the best way to finish a race online. You don't have to worry about damages, so it's just stick it in a barrier, stick it upside down. It's an online race. There's no damage, especially in AC. Once the race is finished, it doesn't matter what you do after the flag. That you can flip the car, go here, go there.
I'm sorry, one
Great
driver that I'm gonna have to praise the most is Brendan Pace. He has had the most perfect race he could have asked for, with Kane's mistakes at the starting stint of the race, and so had the lucky place to get the podium position, and now he finished it and got it, and I must say, for me, driver of the day, it must be Brendan Pace. He's been one of the most consistent drivers that I've seen so far this race. Doremalen, obviously no mistakes, but leading, having the most practice in this was obvious, but Brendan Pace has gone into this race and took that podium with pride. So I believe we now have also interviews coming up soon. So let me switch over to
One out of 10. I mean, I'm probably going to say 7 or an 8. Definitely good, eventful, but Yeah, good race. I think we can start with our third place driver and work our way up to our winner, probably. So, Brendan, how was that race for you?
It was a long one.
Hmm.
Long and lonely.
Muted. There we go. Right. So one thing I gotta have to say here though, Brendan. I've seen the start of the race. You were fighting Kane there. You had the battle stay started in third. You were following the group there. Wow. How did it feel staying with Milanov and Jason for about 10 laps?
It started off pretty good. I was like, maybe I could have a chance to pass them once and then they can run away from me, but that never really happened. They got their pace and took off without me.
That, to be fair, yeah, you were when you were in that slipstream. There was the train that happened, but
Yeah.
then you had a mistake. I think about half an hour in where Kane got you, and I've missed the mistake from Kane. Do you remember what happened when you were down in P4 with a mistake there from Kane?
Was I in P4 at any point?
I remember Kane was at
I don't.
one part of race third, and then I missed a mistake from him.
Could have been a pit stop, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember. There was a lot of. I made a lot of mistakes.
Talking about mistakes, what was the most prone mistake that you made?
Just driving too quickly into corners and expecting too much from the car, I guess.
Oh, Kane said he spun. Okay, so I got the response from Kane that when he was in third, he had a spin. But yeah, I've seen a lot of cars heading after Indianapolis, the right-hand corner, mostly going just too wide and catching the wall, or just too much curb and spinning around. But one thing that I saw at the start of the race happen very often, which has stopped happening, was at the Mulsanne happen. I've seen many cars often go wide and out of the grass. How did you manage to fight that mistake? Did you just learn where to finally brake, or did something click?
Oh, I don't know. It's so hard to be consistent with this car. Sometimes you turn in too early or too late and you go off into the grass, and it's just a matter of handling it as it happens.
Alright, so congratulations for the third place. Ethan, do you have anything to add?
No, you asked the perfect questions, all good. And Brendan, congratulations on the P3. That was a strong race from you today.
Yeah.
I don't see our P2 finisher in here, so we have to jump to our winner, Guus van Doremalen, 2.4-hour Le Mans winner 2024. How do you feel? If you may talk, if you can talk, I believe, maybe.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. It was a nice race. So yeah, I am very happy, but also a bit tired after 2.4 hours. But yeah, it was fun, especially the beginning with Jason. So, but then he made some small mistakes, so I could break the slipstream. And then after that, I think he spun once or twice. So then the race was basically in the bag for me. So that was yeah. So I just had to stay alive until the end of the race, and I succeeded. So yeah, I'm very happy, and it was a nice event.
Yeah, I saw from you, you've been the most consistent driver all across the race. I've haven't even seen. I've been keeping an eye the entire time on the timings, and usually the mistakes that you've done were usually just like a second or two, never an actual crash or spin. And how did you manage to fight that? How much practice did you put into this, as you were the only driver who barely had any mistakes in the entirety of the 2.4 hours?
Yeah, it's just all about going slow into the corner and then accelerate. Just like standard standard way to be fast, slow in, fast out. But with this car, it's just like that, then a bit more. So just don't overcook it going into the corner, and that also really helped me to be consistent. Because normally, if you really want to be fast, so for one lap, yeah, you also have to be fast going into the corner. But if you want to stay consistent, was a slow in and fast out, and yeah, so it also helps with don't making to make too much mistakes. So that's what, yeah, that's basically how I did it. But I didn't practice uh, practice too much. I just only practice, I think, on Friday and today, like 2 half an hour, so an hour or something.
Oh,
So yeah, it was yeah, really
interesting.
fun.
Ethan, do you have anything to add?
The only thing I was going to add that you, I believe, have won Monaco and you've just won the Le Mans 24. So for next year, is a Indy 250 win on your mind?
Yes, it is. It is. I'm just really
Yeah.
gonna focus on the Indy for next year. So that's the big thing for me next year. But yeah, I've never won it. So, and I'm not really good at ovals. So it's gonna be a tough cookie, I think, to crack. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, ovals you can't quite take the slow in fast out. It's fast everywhere for an oval. But yeah, it's great to have the interview. Looking forward to seeing how you perform next year, and great win today.
I wish you the best of
Yeah,
luck
thank you.
for the Triple Crown. You have two out of the three. It won't take long until you might be the first one here in the entire series to get that Triple Crown, and then you have something to brag about. And so wish you the best of luck for the next Indy 50 race. Till then, plenty of practice might help, and obviously for the championship right now, the FSGP championship. Right now you're leading that as well, so good luck there as well. I think the next weekend is soon. But yeah, good. Congratulations for winning today's race. Had a perfect race in my books. I've seen basically the best I've ever seen in racing, and yeah, hope to see a masterclass of yours soon. I believe.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon, guys. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, I think after this one, a break is deserved by everyone. So, we are missing Jason Milanov, I believe, if I'm seeing it correctly here.
Yeah, I can't see a Jason with us. I can ask if he wants to join.
We have two other people in here, maybe. Yeah. Maybe we have Jason's alt account in here. It's David W. Jason. Oh. Wait. Right. Hold on. We have David Wilson in here with us. Or I believe Correa was a winner in the MFT02. David Wilson is, I think, a P3 finisher. Yeah. I believe David Wilson, you finished P3 here, so we might have your podium take. Can you run us through the race as a MFT02 driver, as we've only talked about the MFT01? What's the biggest difficulty on those cars? I believe your microphone is muted if you're talking, but obviously multi-class race. We've talked about the winner of the MFT01 class and the P3 finish of the MFT01 class, and we heard that with those cars, Milanov Doremalen gave us the information that with the car it was more of a slow in, fast out situation. I'm interested to hear if, David, you're able to talk if the MFT02 car handled a bit differently corner-wise. If we can talk, if you can tell us some information. Take that as sadly not an answer. Ethan, do you want to add anything before we end the stream here today?
I'm just gonna add a congrats to every driver that got to the end and every driver that competed up to any point in the race today. It was just a valiant effort to take part and then get to the end. So congrats to everyone that finished, and especially our podium finishes in both MFT01 and MFT02.
Yeah, same thing from my side. Congratulations to all the drivers. It was a great spectacle to watch from start to finish, from the top, from just top drivers to midfield to the back of the grid. We had battles all over the place. Even if it was at the end just 10 finishes, those are still 10 drivers that had a massive, spectacular race. So this was for us from the commentary booth. I'm Captain Foxy, and joined with me is Ethan Mills. And
I just got you for the last 20, but that's fine.
FSGP event. So take care and goodbye.
Bye everyone.